Matt. This has nothing to do with music. Anyway, but I do have a question in regards to music, all kidding aside, and maybe because you're such a Shaquille O'Neal fan, maybe your guilty pleasure may be his rap career, in which I believe he had an album called Shaq Fu, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
he did. Okay, holy shit! So I'm up to speed on my Shaquille O'Neal rap knowledge.
Return, right?
I did. I will self-admit that I had his first album. Was it Shaq Diesel?
Oh, yeah.
I think it was. Anyway, it just shows how old and ridiculously stupid I am with my music taste at the time. But that ties into this question, Matt. In fact, our last episode, Urban Breed was on the show.
Dude, I love Urban Breed.
Oh, he's great. Awesome guest, by the way. He mentioned that the Andrews sisters, the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, the three, trio of, 1940s, 1950s white women, trio was just music that blew his mind. He was just like, they're so amazingly good. And I'm going, really? That's your guilty pleasure, huh? So we've had answers all over the board. So I ask you, Matt, what is your guilty pleasure when it comes to music?
I don't know, man. I'm not guilty about any of it, to be honest.
Even better.
I mean, I do listen to some rap, a lot of East Coast, Pharaoh Monch, Cannabis, Wu-Tang. Electronic music, I love ambient, trance.
Really?
Some danceable, some not. But even like some J-pop and shit like that, it's no big deal to me.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're so hold on. Now this is going to tie me to a question I had no preparation for. There is something. Now I have to ask this question. Sorry, Biv. I have to ask it.
All right.
There are so many people who have their panties in a wad in regards to baby metal. Because they just think it's just this Backstreet Boys metal hodgepodge bullshit. And I seem to be one of the only people who typically defends it. Like, look, it's not terribly bad. If you can get past the fact that these chicks have no desire to be in a metal band, and you listen to the actual music itself, which the rest of the band is incredibly good. Like, it kind of incorporates J-pop with metal in a way. So I'm curious your thoughts on them. Are you one of these metal purists who's like, those guys can, F off? Or are you one of those who's like, who cares? They're having fun. Who gives a crap?
It's not like I'm a purist. Like, culturally, I don't care what anyone really does. I only heard like half a song or maybe the, whatever first thing they kind of broke with. And I definitely hated it. But I'm not going to say like... I'm angry that they made it or anything.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. At least you're not we had a news story on the show where Rob Zombie fans, Rob Zombie took a picture of him, at some show where Baby Metal was performing, and he took a picture with him. And Rob Zombie fans lost their mind. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. Rob Zombie fans don't have the right to claim metal blasphemy or impurity here. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously,
I don't know.
I mean, if you're at a Sepultura show, fine. It's freaking Rob Zombie. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean the band's talented and stuff, but I don't know. Why has it got to be like a with us or against us thing? Why does it matter who likes it or who doesn't like it?
I agree. But going back to Chaos Frame, I always like to ask this question: if you had 5 minutes and you said, "Dude, I'm in a band. I'm in this band, and I want you to hear one song." Because, one thing we love to do is play a song from the guests that we have on the show. So, I ask you, Matt, what's the song we should play for the According Metalheads who have never heard of your band yet so far? And what is the song that you think kind of encompasses your sound?
You're going to be hard-pressed to find one that is less than 5 minutes.
That's fine.
I would probably say Paper Sun, or personally, I'm fond of The World Had Two Faces.
This is Matt's recommendation. The band... his band, Chaos Frame, the song you should hear from them is The World Had Two Faces. Check it out. All right, that was The World Had Two Faces. Of course, that is Matt Hodsdon's recommendation from the band Chaos Frame. He is, of course, joining us here on According to Metal. Of course, that song is the final track off of Path to Exile, their most recent album. And one of the things, to steal your words from your Facebook page again, one of the things you mentioned is you will release new material when it's good and ready. Well, let me ask you something, Matt. We're going into 2017. Does Chaos Frame... I know you have stuff that's good, clearly. But do you have stuff that's ready going into 2017? What can we expect?
Oh, man. I mean, our writing's so sporadic. But, yeah, we do have probably half an hour of material written with all, like, the meticulous arrangements and stuff. A lot of stuff subject to change, like especially vocal lines as we record. But, yeah, we have some pretty sweet midis, and someday maybe we'll record those. As far as it being in 2017... who knows? You know, I mean, I wish that I was more prolific, but things just get in the way.
No, I can. If there's anybody who can, Biv can especially appreciate my answer to this, which is, if there's anybody who can understand and appreciate life sometimes getting in the way of the things you want to do, it's this guy right here. So I can totally relate and understand, but hopefully the sooner the better, because I'm telling you, your sound on Path to Exile is very eclectic. It's very... There's not one genre, to your point, where you talked about progressive metal and it being a sound that you're like, yeah, I like it, but yet I don't want to, be the atypical progressive metal fan. There's a lot of stuff, I'm telling you. That whole album has sounds all over the place. I mean, there is not... I couldn't pigeonhole you. You hear Dragon Force and you go, okay, clearly I know who these guys are. You can't say that about Chaos Frame at all, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to be to the extent of a band like Unexpect or something where it's just ridiculous. Like, we don't want it to be our whole gimmick that we do a lot of different things, but we do like to play with the momentum, or kind of like jerk it suddenly in a different direction, and try to do it tastefully so it makes it more exciting rather than like distracting.
Absolutely. No. Back in early August or so, we had Tony Piccoli on from Imminent Sonic Destruction, which is one of my favorite lesser-known bands out there. They're from Detroit, and when I asked him this question, he immediately fired away with a few bands that he really thought a lot of. And so I'll ask you the same question: is there a band or bands out there in maybe even in your neck of the woods in Minnesota that we just need to hear? Because when I asked Tony that, he was like, man, you wouldn't believe the metal scene in Detroit.